Thank you so much for having me. Very excited to be here. I think that's something I'm definitely addressing, the imposter syndrome. I think a lot of people struggle with that, and it helps having incredible people like yourself around in my tribe, letting me know that when I'm doubting myself, that no, I'm actually being too hard on myself.
Yeah, well, I value you being in my tribe too. I can tell you, you're a ripper.
Connect with your authentic self and you stand in your power to empower other people. It's actually a very, very amazing thing that gets really contagious, and you see other people wanting to stand up as well.
Not until you're actually under them and feeling them that you realize that this is half a ton of animal, and I don't think most of us will know, can even appreciate what that weight is like. But you had it in your lap.
Yeah,
Um,
my pelvis definitely appreciated what that weight was.
yeah, it's not really like a 2-year-old in your lap, is it? Or a puppy dog?
No, I don't recommend it. But yeah, she did come landing down. So I was riding her training for an upcoming competition. And she was a young little feisty thing, which is part of what I loved about her. She was this beautiful black horse with this little white dot on her head, like an artist had got a paintbrush and slopped it on her head. And she was fiery, she was passionate, she had a lot of zazazu and a lot of potential to be a very good dressage horse. But sometimes when that fiery zazazu turns into a little tantrum, because she was a young horse, so she decided to have a little bit of tantrum and didn't want to train anymore. So she reared up vertically. Her head came into my face and knocked my face really hard. So I got a bit disorientated and actually slipped off and fell off her. And because she was up vertical and my weight coming off her back, she started to stumble, lost her balance, her back legs gave way, and she just came crashing down into my lap. And
Oh,
then I kind of pushed her so she didn't come over onto my body, and she rolled off onto the right side, which did so much damage to the right hip and the pelvis and crushed the pelvic bone and did a lot of nerve damage to the right leg. And it's incredible, our human instincts and how we can just tap into our courage momentarily. So I managed to flip myself over onto my tummy and army crawl out of the way about a couple of meters, because I knew if I didn't, when she stood up, she would have trampled me as well, and that would have been a lot worse. So with all the adrenaline, I managed to drag myself through the sand and then just collapse a few meters away. And my body just got flooded with the most excruciating pain. No words could describe the pain.
yeah.
And I thought, yeah, life as I know it is over, which I was correct, but I was thinking of this life of being, never being able to walk again
Mm,
and all that kind of stuff. So it was a very scary moment. Or that feeling of, wow, isn't life incredible?
yeah.
But now I can get that just standing in the park with two little dogs and the sun on my face. I find such deep peace and contentment. And that's what I really try and get across to other people, to find that moment in life without having to go through the trauma that I've had to go through, but still just connect with just the simple beauty that is around us all day, every day. I was in the wheelchair pretty solidly for the first year, and then I've had 13 procedures and operations since, and some of them
Wow.
has put me back and forth into the wheelchair.
You believed that you would never walk again. Like that was they told you that. And then there came a time in the hospital where you stood, like you worked towards this, and you stood on your own for 3 seconds, and you describe it that I felt, the pain, the anger, the grief, you were just over. Just explain that moment and how it felt.
When I stood up, first of all, the room was spinning. I felt so nauseous because I've been sitting for so long, and I'm 5'10", so I'm quite tall. So it's a big change as well. So I almost had a bit of a vertigo. The pain was just nauseating as well. Like the amount of pain, it took my breath away. I've got
Oh,
photos of it, and you can see me just screaming in pain. I get emotional now just talking about it. My little sister took a video of it, and you can just see how horrifically painful it is. And then my right leg gives up and falls underneath me, and I come crashing back down into my wheelchair.
oh,
And I just cracked. That was my lowest moment, I wheeled myself back to the hospital room. I had tears pouring down my face. As I fell, like my hope just fell as well. I was just devastated. I was like, they were right. I'm never going to walk again. I'm never going to run. I'm never going to be an active person again. This is now my life. I'm like, what would you do at work if you had such a big problem, such a massive problem? You'd develop a strategy. You would analyze the root cause of what's causing these problems, and then you'll analyze a strategy. So one of the root cause of that was my lack of understanding of pain. So I really started to educate, how does pain work? How does the brain and the body, and what's the relationship with pain? And I started to become the master of my pain and not let the pain be the master of me.
You actually did your CPA while you're in hospital. Like, what? You had nothing better to do? Like,
I know a lot of people are like, what are you doing? Why are you're crazy? But it was actually a really fundamental part of my rehabilitation process, because there was so much uncertainty on my physical health. There was so much unknown, and that was creating a bit of anxiety.
yeah.
By studying the CPA, I knew that each model I read and each section I went through the textbook, I was actually progressing in life. I was progressing in, I guess, my mental life, and I'd finished an exam or sign that off, and I could see progression. I could see constant movement, and it was a really guiding North Star. It was this one thing in my life that was stable.
Now, it wasn't just you've done 200K bike rides, right? And you're currently training. I got to read this because I'll get it wrong. I don't even know where I wrote it. But you've got 2 monumental events. Tell us about those.
It's a 120K ride down at Lawn. So the first part of the ride is about a 12K climb up a very steep hill. And then you ride all the way down Great Ocean Road. They close off Great Ocean Road, and it's a fantastic ride. My partner's done it quite a few times. He does it in the racing section, but we're just going to enter in the social section. This is just because this is, for me, a massive goal to do this very, very difficult bike ride, but I can't do it without my support tribe. And I know the strategy, I know the environment that I need to thrive in. So I'm setting that up. And that's what people just have to do. Like, you can't climb Everest on your own.
If I've got something big to plan for, you're going to be my number one girl. I can tell you what. You're amazing.
I'll help you find the strategy to achieve whatever dream you want. Don't worry about that.
You are incredible. You're incredible. And the other one involves what is it?
Sprint,
750.
So it's a sprint distance triathlon, because I don't think my my pelvis will let me run the 10K that you got to do for a normal triathlon. So it's a 750 meter swim, a 20K bike ride, and a 5K run. So that's what I'm training for at the moment. I'd love to, maybe once my hip gets replaced, I might be able to do the proper triathlon. But with the hip in the current state it is, because to the point, the other day I was walking around the kitchen and my partner's like, God, our floorboards are creaky. And I said, no, darling, that's my hip. Clicking and cracking and popping and making so much noise.
Yuck. Oh my God. That would be... Wow, really?
So I don't think that hip's going to do 10K.
No. You know what you're doing with all those challenges and all the smashed pelvis and everything else is stuff that a person without those challenges wouldn't even attempt. Like, it's incredible. I just have so much admiration for you. I really... You're a boomer. I loved you the minute I met you. I tell you, you just got this energy that is just bam, and but it's soft and sweet at the same time. You're a gem. You really are. Now tell us about empowered women in trade. You love this, and that's how we met through that.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
So as I said before, it's the purpose behind it is to encourage females to see a career in skilled trades as a viable option. So getting more women on the tools out there as plumbers and glaziers and bricklayers and all those kind of things. And my real motivation for this is when I was in hospital, having an option taken off the table of having an active life, of walking again. It was so devastating to feel that there was an option out there that I couldn't have anymore.
Mm.
And knowing that there's women here in Australia that feel that this career path, which is a very, very fantastic career path financially, people have great, a lot of tradie women that have gone into it have said it's actually been really good for their mental health. They love building something and creating something. So there's so many positives in going into these career paths, but a lot of women feel the doors are closed to them. They're not offered it at schools. They don't know how to transition into that and get an apprenticeship. And that knowing that and connecting that feeling with me not being able to have options on the table for me, I just felt so devastated that that's happening out there for other women. And I just was really motivated that I had to do something about it, working in manufacturing, a male-dominated environment, and having a factory that if we could get a female fitter and turner, an electrician, we would employ her in a heartbeat. So there's employers out there that do want these women. And we actually had a female welder for a little while from New Zealand, and she really enjoyed working in our factory. So she said her history hasn't had great places. She has worked in places where she's experienced harassment and bullying, and that's just not tolerated. We need to get rid of that out of the working environment. And it was nice that she felt safe in our environment. So I really wanted to change the culture out there and have more environments where women feel confident and safe to work in construction, manufacturing, mining-based things, and let women know that these options are on the table. They just got to get out there and take it.
So were you thinking about this when you were in hospital and thinking that when I get out, one day I'm going to do this, create something to empower women, or did it come
It was
afterwards?
definitely on my mind. And the reason was when the accident happened, I was going through, I guess, my apprenticeship in the factory. My family's very big about learning all aspects of the company. So when the accident happened, I was actually working in the factory welding, and I loved welding. I've done polishing and done all these other things. So I was spending my time in the factory and having the best time ever. It was way better than spreadsheets and computer programs and sitting in front of a computer. And then I think connecting with that positive experience that I had and having so much fun, I didn't even feel like I was going to work. It was great.
Yeah.
And then that loss and that feeling of opportunities being taken away, I thought, oh, wow, that's really heartbreaking that women aren't having the opportunity to experience what I was very privileged to be able to experience in my factory. So that really started planting the seed, and it all started ticking away in the back of my mind back there in hospital.
And did you know what it would look like back then?
No. Originally, what I thought it would look like is maybe just a little work experience program at our factory, get the local girls at the local high school to come down to our factory and have a work experience week in year 10 and see if they enjoy it and all that kind of stuff. And it just grew from that concept, really. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and turned into something that's really important, and realizing that it's not just school kids. A lot of the tradie women had transitioned in their mid to late 20s out of retail or hospitality or other careers into skilled trades. And then, especially with unemployment rising from COVID for females, a big push is to try and get these unemployed females into skilled trades, because there's also a skill shortage in skilled trades. A lot of these skilled trades are crying out for bodies to come in to their positions. So I thought, wow, this is the time. This is the time to align the changing in the economy with different things, events moving online. The events industry might not employ as many people, but the construction, manufacturing, mining industry still need more people than they can employ right now.
Yeah. So what are your plans? Like you've only just launched it. It's only a few months old, really. And
It
you
is.
started to. So your plan is more in policies or advocating or actually providing job connections, or which sort of direction do you think it'll go in?
Yeah, so we want to start off with kind of like this pledge concept to get awareness out there, to get employers coming to the table saying that they agree to have supportive environments for females to thrive in, that they agree to provide opportunities for females to try out the trades and do all of that kind of stuff. Because I think, first of all, women need to see that there's employers there that will support them, that will allow them to thrive, that they feel safe in that space, that there's trade schools out there that they're not going to get teased or bullied at, or all those kind of things, that there's opportunities to learn tool handling skills and do all those kind of things. So we want to start this kind of pledge program, which will encourage employers to get noisy about them being supportive of women. And then the women will come, and then down the track, then start setting up programs of, once we've got the women aware and educated of what a career in this is like, how can we transition those women that are interested into actual apprenticeships and into actual jobs. But the first piece is that real awareness piece, and getting women to feel safe, confident and comfortable with even entertaining the idea.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I would have loved to have been a mechanic. I used to just be a mechanic, but I wasn't paid. They used to pull motorbikes apart and put them back together again and fix them. I remember when I was 18, I got my first little Corolla, and Mum came. I had in the driveway, and Mum came out, and I had the entire engine pulled apart, all laid out under the carport. And Mum came out and she said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm figuring it out how it works." "Oh, by geez, you better get that bloody thing back together again." And I did, but it's back when I was young, because I'm 57, when I was in my 20s, that wasn't the case. There weren't I was a female mechanic in my own lunchbox. Now, where can people find you?
So I've got my website, which is haciaatherton.com. So HACIAATHERTON. That's also the handle for my LinkedIn page and my Instagram page as well. So Instagram's probably a bit more personal. That's where I put up some more about my struggles of my runs and things. LinkedIn's where I more talk about vulnerable leadership and have a bit more of professional space. So follow both, follow one, follow the other. Connect with me, message me. I'm happy to speak to anyone and help them any way I can. And sometimes it's just having someone in the corner saying that, yeah, you can do this and I believe in you. I hope that by doing this, I can help other people see their remarkable potential inside them.